But you must remind me, otherwise, these fireflies also record everything. So I have kept, even if I forget, what I'm saying that just snake s- is visible, is seen, is experienced at dusk. What is that dusk? There is little darkness and there is a little light. There is a little knowledge. I have a knowledge that there is a snake at dusk. So this is what we say: incomplete knowledge causes ignorance, and ignorance causes the suffering. We are understanding what is this choiceless awareness. What is this choiceless awareness? When there is a total unconsciousness, I'm in deep sleep, there is a total ignorance, there is neither snake and nor rope. But when there is a little light, instead of a rope, I am seeing the snake. Snake is seen at the dusk. Now, what happens to the snake at a dawn? Now there is a more light. I want to understand. Ignorance is gone. I move to the knowledge. Snake is also gone. What is left? Only the rope. Only one. That is the meaning of that is the meaning of choiceless awareness. And there is no choice left. Is it snake or something else? No, there is nothing left. Now come to the practical aspects of it. In total unconsciousness, there is nothing. There is nothing. But when I wake up to the world, I see lot of people, things, relationship, time, space, location. They are constantly changing. That is what the snake is. That is the snake. No, you did not get it, Lo. Let us understand in a different way. Let us understand in a different way. Plane is flying in the sky. Nothing happens to the sky. Our mind in ignorance says that the plane has covered this distance. Flight from Arizona to, say, Ukraine. We forget to see what does not change. The space does not change. Ask the space. Here is Ukraine and here is Arizona. What it means to the space. The space is infinite. Similarly, that real self is infinite. Wave is in motion, water is not. The water in motion means what? Water in motion means the wave. My mind constantly is agitated because of this motion. Wherever I see there is a change, I hook to it, I identify myself, and then I have a problem, and then I lose the choiceless awareness. And then I lose the choiceless awareness. I'm not absorbed into the existence. But if I see the space, nothing happens to the space, nothing happens to the water. Same thing, the nothing happens to that consciousness, but at the same time, the body is changing, mind is changing, intellect is changing, thoughts are coming and going. But one thing that does not change. So to be aware of that unchanging is the choiceless awareness. What people start thinking, oh, I have to control my mind to enter into the choiceless awareness. No, that is not possible. It will never be possible. The mind cannot be made still. It is a matter. Matter is subjected to change. So I go little deep inside. So that entry into the choiceless awareness simply means that I have a recognition beyond the world of the change. We are. I started. Uh, that is why. That is why these 40 steps discuss in detail about it. And that is why I explained you choice plus less is choiceless awareness. Choiceless awareness. You have to reason, but reason according to the principles of the Eastern wisdom, not according to you or me. Then what happens? The same thing I told you. Here is no David, no Jerry, no Ashok, no Dennis, no Girish. What is they all are changing in appearance. Behind that, there is a real self, that is the pure consciousness, and that is of the nature of. The same thing happens in self absorption also. Patanjali says Trinity should not be there. Trinity means three things. The mind has to work with these three factors. Either it is working inside you, it is working in relationship with someone, or it is doing anything. But when these three is recognized, is coming from the mind, you have the state of choiceless awareness. What does mean three? I know you. So first is I coming from the mind. You, I see you. Where I see you? In my mind. What is going on? Teaching is going on. The three things. Give me any example. Three aspects are there of the mind. That causes the illusion. Eating. So what happens? Eater, food, and the process of eating. They all belongs to the mind. They all are experienced in the mind. I am angry. Think I, anger, and the process of anger. They all are experienced in the mind. So when you say I am angry, fact is that you are not angry. It is the mind that is happening. So there is nothing to worry. When someone says, oh, you are crazy, okay, thank you very much. I'm more crazy than you think. Because that is also belongs to the mind, that does not belong to you. This is what we were discussing yesterday. But why I bring this topic? Last time we discussed that. Why? So that I can change my perception towards the world outside and step into the higher consciousness. And for that, I have to apply discernment and dispassion in my daily living so that there is a change of perception. When there is a change of perception, there is a change of behavior and attitude. When there is a change in behavior and attitude, there is a change in personality. When there is a change in personality, there is a change in thought, speech, and action. When there is a change in thought, speech, and action in your personal, professional, social, and family life, you are moving towards permanent peace, happiness. That is the result of choiceless. We dissolve because of the right perception. The way you dissolve the snake, same way you dissolve the unfavorable conditions of our life. And does not, you see that? That is what the master is guiding us. So remember, don't forget that I have to do the Shanti mantra regularly. During the day also. You pick up any mantra, Om Shanti, yes. Or make your own mantra, I am peace. Don't make a mantra, I'm crazy. I'm peace, I'm peace, 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 I'm peace, peace. And then listening and learning, contemplation and reflection, followed by the practice and experience. And before you go to the sleep, please do the analysis, observe. Simple question, how many times? I know you all know how many times I went into anxiety, reaction, duality, and a conflict. Okay. Then second question, why? So as long as the answer of why is outside, you are not applying the discernment. When the question goes to inside, you are able to find out the cause that is present in the mind. And in the mind, that cause is nothing but the dusk. It is the dusk. And then you go to the Shanti mantra, Sarve, Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahviryam Karva Vahe Tejasvi Navadhita Mastu Ma Vidvishavahe. So now question is, how do we change our perception towards the world outside and step into higher consciousness? We have 4 steps. Now I'm coming out of the 40 steps. I gave you an acronym, if you remember. The acronym is CLEAR. C means cleans, let the accumulation of sins be washed away. What that means? Uh, we all have some impulsive nature. Even the enlightened people have those impulsive nature. But only difference is that they are not affected by it. We continue the journey. We continue to remain affected. No, I will not talk to Stephen from today. Huh? He did this thing and that thing. So, what is the meaning of cleansing? Every day I'm aware of it, contemplate and reflect, and I say, ah, these sins has to go away. What are the main points of this cleansing? Self-reflection, forgiveness, if I use the modern terminology, forgiveness, and release the emotional burden. These 4 steps are very important to get rid of anxiety, stress, duality, conflict, reaction, etc., in your daily life. Either it's a personal life or family life or do any life. You will start living in peace and calmness. First is I have to clean ac- the sins that is accumulated. What are the sins accumulated? I have to settle a score with Stephen. I have to react to Christina, and I have to do this. I should become aware. Drop it by self reflection, forgiveness, or you can say the release, the emotion, or something happens to in my life. I told you in 89, perhaps the way my life has been since my childhood until now, uh, if I say that I always receive some kind of challenges, or everyone has those challenges, but how do you perceive those challenges? Eastern wisdom teaches you. So that then there is a change in perception. Can anyone tell that there is no death in your family or in my family? It is there. How you perceive it. How you perceive it. There is no suffering in the family? Yes. So clear, the second principle comes that I have to recognize the defects in the world. How I have to recognize the defects in the world? The desire comes from my mind and goes to the world, then I build a relationship. I have to check what kind of a relationship I'm building with the world outside. World outside means my personal life, my professional life, my social life, my life, the way I live my life, the way I wake up in the morning. Do you see that? Acquiring knowledge. So if I know that the defects in the world in relationship to my desire, I can discern, I can separate. Here is a binding desire, here is an unbinding desire. I have a survival, physical survival, because the food is supplied by the world outside. Clear? Now I have, now I want more. That more relates to becoming rich. Can you show me, if you don't declare your wealth, who among is who among you is rich and who among you is poor? It's a psychological aspect. It's a purely psychological. So that is how I recognize the defects. It does it mean that I should not earn? No, but I don't identify anything of the world outside with the false I. The moment you attach it to the false I, choiceless awareness is gone. Done. Finished. Learn. Learn the defects. The third part is the embrace burning desire. When your mind is clear, you have a right perception, then your mind can have a intense desire longing to know the real self, and the life will change. Definitely the life will change. Why the life will change? Now you have an intense desire to know the real self. You see the world is constantly changing. You accept the impermanence of the world. Then what happens? You accept a growth mindset. You want to evolve. You want to rise into the higher consciousness. So CLE, A. These are the four principles. The A completes it, but I have to create an acronym, so R is also there. So A means, literally it means, the master has written the message, leave your home. So if you study without a teacher, you'll say, oh, what the heck this teacher is saying? Leave your home. Leave the home of your attachment, leave the home of your anxiety, leave the home of your duality, leave the home of your conflict. These are the four. And R, R means that, R, CLEA. EL, I did it, yeah. E, embrace burning desire for awakening. A, adhere, leave your home. And R means rested, rested. You are rested. You can be rested. Why? Because you enter into choiceless awareness. We have done the SMART, that is the 5 steps. Here I have taken one step from the first one and then I made it clear. Here there's a lot of contemplation and reflection is required. You have a project in the business to you keep the target. What is the target? $10 million. And then you prepare a plan, you prepare a project, and you start working. Same thing is here. Same thing, exactly the same thing is here. I have an anxiety today with Christina, so let me find out what is the cause inside. So now, in the state of a discernment, even the mind constantly blames Christina that you caused me the reaction in anxiety, but your mind reaches to a state of awareness that I have to check that moment of anxiety, that experience of anxiety is there, that reaction is there in my mind. I have to get rid of this first before I deal with someone else. You have to relate it to the choiceless awareness and self-absorption. So in a very in a traditional way, if I see these 4 principles or 4 steps, cleanse yourself of accumulated sins. Cleanse yourself. Now, that is what I explained you. That, how many times I get into anxiety and unnecessary reaction and duality and a conflict. Can I maintain awareness? The space to the plane that I gave an example, the water. The motion of the water is a wave. So I get hooked to the motion and to the waves. I don't see the water. Okay, I have that unwanted reaction. Okay, let me sit down and find out. Discernment and dispassion. The third is the recognize. Second is, or you can say the fifth. This is the sixth one. Sixth step is recognize the defects of the worldly desires, or I made it very simple. Recognize the defects in the world outside. The third one, strengthen the desire for self-knowledge. To move into, you see the snake, I want to save myself, I'm scared, and I started crying. Yes, everything is okay, but behind that, I want to know the truth. And the fourth one, the master says, quickly renounce attachment or you leave your home. Leave your home. We will talk about it that sins are nothing but, don't go into the religious explanation or many cult explain. Simple explanation is favorable, unfavorable conditions, events, people, relationship in my life. Every day. I have an interview for a job and then I'm not feeling well, unfavorable condition. So these are considered as sins. But why I have a fever? Because I have a tendency of getting fear to deal with the people. How long it is going on? For 10 years. So those 10 years of accumulation has resulted into a fever. And that is why you are not able to. The same thing happens. I know you won't believe it, but we will, as we progress, and I will make you clear. What are these sins? Favorable and unfavorable conditions, events, and relations. So I have to check, is it happening because of the mind, crazy mind in ignorance here, or it is happening outside in relationship. What a crazy, you don't understand anything. If I'm blaming and complaining, why, honey, that is one approach. Discernment and dispassion. Approach of the discernment and dispassion. Oh, it gives me an opportunity to live in that higher awareness without blaming, why, honey, finished. Why, the existence has given me this connection. As long as this connection continues, I will live in peace and happiness. I don't have money. Let me start earning money. So, everywhere I have not to create what? I have not to create hmm, unfavorable condition in my life. It will help you refine and shine your personality. Now, look at from the other angle. I gave you this. This is the fifth one. Yeah, fifth step. So the silent generation in the age group of 7996. That is how the Pew has categorized the age group. Silent gen or simple generation. So those people have a understanding, ask for forgiveness in prayer, seek forgiveness through traditional religious practices. Yes, that is the same. But baby boomer, if you belong to the baby boomer, 60 or 78, like this crazy guy, so fix the past mistake. Engage in self reflection. Make the changes from the past mistake. If you are in the range of 44 to 59, then talk to someone who helps. I have to seek help. Practice self forgiveness and let go of the guilt through the therapy or counseling. I'm just translating the different ways. And if you are millennials, 28 to 43, write about your feeling. You journal. It is always good to have a journal. Why I'm saying so? That if you find out your particular nature and use all of them, this belongs to only explanation of one, the fifth step. So if you like to keep a journal, it's very good. Keep a journal. You are seeking forgiveness. Yes, seek the forgiveness. And Gen Z, which is between 12 to 27, because baby boomers have to take care of their kids or they have to communicate. You see, that is why I'm explaining you. Huh? So then what? Share with the support group. So they always like to have a support group. To enter into their participation, participate. Let the baby boomer become the Gen Z, participate in or online support. So you sit with them and you say, teach me. And the generation alpha means 0 to 11 years, learn from the mistake. They are more on the games nowadays. So you have to fill. Now, the second one means the recognize the defects of the world. Now, how to understand this in modern perspective? For the silent gen, you can say that uh, choose the spirit over the stuff. Be wary of materialism and prioritize the spiritual values. So as we start aging, we say, no, I'm more spiritual. No, I need not to do anything with that. The best part is that I should understand what is this spirituality. For baby boomers like us, no, money isn't everything. Reflect on the limitations of success and wealth for true self fulfillment. That is how the people responds to to the life. So then we baby boomers, we have done Gen X between 44 to 59. Think about what really matters. You might have heard, especially it happens very much the way we communicate in US. So think about what really matters. So it's an Americanized version. Yes, but more or less you can also adopt it. Millennials live with the less stuff, practice minimalism. I have seen there is a 33, 34 years old uh, who left the IT job, who went to the Northeast India. He bought a land and there he is living and he is doing hard work. So that approach is also available, but it has less to do with the spirituality. We say you are already having an IT job, so why don't you change your mind instead of changing your place, changing your relationship? But at that, their husband and wife, they both are living, they have left the IT job, and they are around their 40s. So we are talking about the fifth, sixth, yeah, sixth principle, which says that I have to learn the defects of the world because they have learned the defects in the IT job and they have entered into another world. Oh no, so the interviewer asked that, you don't have challenges? No, we have too much challenges, but now I enjoy the challenges. You should have enjoyed the challenges in the IT sector with those people, and you should have changed your perception. So that is why the discernment and dispassion comes. And Gen Z is more adapt to social media. So if I am a baby boomer and I have a kid of using the social media, I should apply the discernment and dispassion. That let me think of 5 points on the social media. Oh, can you browse the personality? Is there any guy on the social media who talks about personality development? I'm not saying to my kid that don't use it too much. You are crazy. Goal is the same. I have to learn the defects of the world. Like this. I'm just giving you some idea if you are going deeper into the journey. Oh, no, yes, you are already going deep. The seventh is the strengthen the desire for self realization. How to put a thought in different generations. So the oldest is the silent generation, 79 to 96. Pray every day. I told you, do Shanti Mantra every day. Listen and learn every day. Deepen your commitment to the growth, inner growth. Because, once we belong to our physical abilities are limited. So we want to go slow. But it does not mean that our inner growth be very slow. No, it can be very fast. I have a lot of time. Baby boomers read self-help. So in US, we say, oh, read self-help books. But now it is popular amongst everyone. Dismiss, yeah. So baby boomers. Gen X is until 60, 44. So set personal growth goals. In the Middle Age, we talk in the companies that, oh, now the time has come that you have to set a personal growth. The goals, set personal development goals. Below that, millennials, track your good habits, leave the wrong habits. Generation Z, join online growth groups because they are more towards the internet. So it is better, let them join the online growth. And Gen Alpha is 0 to 11 years. The play games that help you grow. Whatever the age group I belong to, if I'm a seeker, I know how to help. The last one is quickly renounce attachment to your, I told you, leave your home. So leave, that means the home of attachment, home of anxiety, home of duality, home of conflict in my mind. I have to drop it. I have to leave. So, what about the silent generation? It's very easy. Can you pin out? Can you pinpoint? So, we need less stuff. A sense of detachment comes naturally. Uh, You can think of it, in a different way. Detachment from the material possessions and the status. One tooth is extracted at this age, even though it appears nowadays as if I belong to the silent generation. No, I cannot eat this. I don't want to eat this. Do you see that? So now I have a craving for it and I am pushing for it. That is the meaning of leave your home. Understand that. Baby boomers, 62, uh, mm, 78, live more simply, downsize, and simplify your lifestyle. Simplify your lifestyle, focusing on what truly matters. And below that, 44 to 59. I'm not asking the age of anyone. So I'm just telling you that that is how the different expressions have come. I was thinking a lot about these four principles, four steps. So 44 to 59, break old habits, challenge your self image. Millionaires, 20. That is also the meaning of leave your home, leave the home of attachment. I have to break my old habits. You see, the age old teaching of that, and I'm bringing it modern. Millionaires, travel light in the life, embrace minimalism, the same thing. The Gen G, 12 to 27 years old, be open to the change, cultivate a fluid identity. So in 27, we start building a very strong sense of identity. Our ego seems to be on the very high rise. So there, as a seeker, if I understand, I can guide. It is not the problem of fighting between the two generations. It is how you approach them. Principle is the same, the step is the same. Step is the same. And the last Gen Alpha until 11 years, share and care for others. You start, you talking to them. So what happens, they start taking care of you. So they learn something new. So this is what exactly are the four steps. We'll have one or two more sessions, then we will now I have to focus on what exactly is the discernment and dispassion in relationship to these four steps. So even the dispassion has 10 different ways that how discernment, how to apply the discernment in personal life, in religious life, in social life. And once we understand, so one part of that discernment, Buddha says dharma, righteousness. So what is opposite of righteousness? I have to leave it. But how I have to leave it? By understanding. What is my mental state? What is my mental temperament? And how I have to enter into that state. So more or less, we have more or less completed 8 steps in the journey. They prepare a very strong foundation. You belong to any tradition, you belong to any religion, you belong to any age group. And if you repeat these 8 steps until they become your friend, I can promise you. No, why should I promise? The Eastern wisdom promises you are on the go for a great transformation. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed place of the body, position, posture of the body. What you're doing, this is also a discernment. You are listening to me. You become aware of the place, position, posture. You're comfortable. You're being comfortable. So, in being comfortable, do you remember that we changed the direction of the mind? Yes, I remember. Now the power of discernment comes. Is my mind running outside in the world or deeper inside? Yes, no, no, it is thinking only about the real self and about me, about my growth. Oh, that is good. Means what? You are a seeker. If it is not, you are not. Just everything, all the 8 steps can be counted on. But by regular practice, you raise your self awareness, then you have changed your perception, and that then you come to the discernment. Where it lives in the intellect. Why? Choiceless awareness and self absorption from the very step, being carefree. So, in being carefree, is it a deeper step than the being comfortable? Yes, compare it. In being comfortable, we change the direction of the mind. In being carefree, whatever is the content of the mind is not me. We have an awareness that whatever the mind says, no, you cannot do it, you are moving your body, you remain different, separate. Now you see when I talk about these 6 neighbors, is it the next step towards it? Yes. You can do any practice of meditation, follow any other practice of meditation from other masters. I never have any objection, but pick up these principles. Yes, my friend, so you are aware of the flow of the breath. Is it a smooth transition for you from place, position, posture to being comfortable to being carefree to the world outside? First, neighbor. There are many ways of discernment. The time, place, or location, and the object has to do with the world outside. That creates an event, it creates a relationship, it creates the problem, it creates the sin, it creates the pleasure, etc., etc., etc. So I'm just aware of this. Oh, without the word, it doesn't happen. No. The second neighbor is the physical body. Can I have only the state of well being since birth? No. The health and the sickness are the dynamic state. It constantly demands something from the world. But the basic problem of our anxiety, duality, conflict, 80% of it is related to the fear of the death because our society has a heavily conditioned our life that you are born, then celebrate your birthday, then give the different interpretation of it. My body is born. So the master gives a clear insight the body is born. And what is born has to die. What is created has to come to an end. How come? Wave to the water. I am water, not the wave. Third, neighbor is the breath. We are already aware of the flow of the breath. And here the breath is energy. Did I tell you that you can compare it with the example of the snake and the rope? The way I see the snake, there is a fear, and when I snake does not exist, so the choiceless awareness comes. Similarly, we have a snake like delusion and ignorance that there is no life without the body. So that he will take up. This master is going to take up in the future and the following steps. How come our mind is heavily conditioned and there it does not want to compromise on any other principle? It's a very deeper level of ignorance. Life is energy, body is not. So we will understand the fourth neighbor is the mind, the crazy mind, duality and a conflict. Fifth neighbor is the intellect and the strong likes and dislikes. And the sixth neighbor is ignorance. So, ignorance you cannot separate from the five neighbors. All the five neighbors, all its impressions, they build up that level of ignorance. So what is beyond that ignorance? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. I think, yes, I should think and contemplate. Break that idea that meditation is not thinking. How long you will keep in a state of a non-thinking, and the thinking that is already accumulated in your mind will continue to surface, will keep you in anxiety, duality, conflict. May there be happiness for all. And thought is a product of knowledge. May there be happiness for all. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Is it, can you convert this line to a power of discernment? Let there be peace for all, including me. Where is discernment? Is means separating. Separating from what? Separating from your impulsive desire, thoughts, and feeling. Yesterday you had a reaction against your mom or honey or kid, whatever it is. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Do you see the application? Anything happened which causes that reaction? No, that reaction is a snake. I'm not interested. Peace is me. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. May there be completeness for all. Completeness. Completeness means whole. What is whole or complete? It doesn't need anything from others. Others is means what is the word? So check, is your mind running outside? You need not to control that thought. You need to be aware. Oh my, unnecessarily you are running outside. You are whole. If you want to say this is control, answer is yes. But this is not a control. This changes your perception. I believe you are getting it. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. It means also, I'm in the state of auspiciousness. Yes. Why? Because my idea, impression about the world outside, about myself, no longer dictated by the past. That is the moment of auspicious. And that is how I indirectly uh, discuss that when you wake up in the morning, find you are in the state of auspiciousness. How come? I'm alive. I'm breathing. We don't know what's going to happen. If I sleep, whether I will wake up or not. Thank God. Thank existence. Whatever you want to say. Let it naturally come. I woke up and I said, oh, again, we have couple of sessions today. I will be able to meet with good people, wonderful people. You see, your thought process changes. It doesn't remain, clogged with your sins and unfavorable conditions. And Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You'll have a lot of surprises in today's meditation. Now we are moving to the last step, looking inside your heart. Looking inside the heart? Oh, you skipped all that? Yes, we have already in that time frame. So looking inside your heart, visualize the triangle facing upward of any color, moving the mind on the triangle with Om Shanti. Clockwise and anti-clockwise, keep watching whenever you have a sync. That is the moment of singing Om. That means you push the mind deep inside the cave of your heart and dropping Shanti. That is the last phase. What happens? Self absorption and choiceless awareness. I have to do nothing in choiceless awareness and self absorption. How come we spend the same time in meditation and we skipped so many steps? Yes, one day should come when you skip all the steps, but still you are following it. That is what is that state? Choiceless awareness. You are continuously absorbed into that state of consciousness. I hope I made the things clear to you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. We'll share our experiences. It's always good to hear the experiences of others, how they explain and how they give their interpretation, because it can help us. Oh, can't I think like this? But by the way, thank you, Stephen, reminding me. Yes, how are you, Stephen?
Good, sir. Thank you. I'm very good. I spent the last couple of days actually thinking about something you mentioned today, and it was the can we control the mind to stop everything that's going on? And you made the statement that it's impossible to control the mind, which is the same conclusion that I came to. But I said, but we have the ability to influence the mind, and therefore, how do we do that? And it just came down to the awareness aspect of everything we're learning, apply the principles, and continue to set the tone when you first wake up. Evaluate throughout the day. Do the the om shantis. Do the japa. Do these kinds of things, and everything seems to slow down, which then goes back to this
Yeah,
choiceless awareness. And it really set a tone to it basically edifies for me when I hear it from you of some of the things that I'm thinking about. So, which was really good, which set the tone for my meditation today, which was absolute nothing.
good.
As soon as I closed my eyes, I was pulled into my heart center. And as soon as you actually mentioned the triangle, everything disappeared. So I was
Beautiful.
just startled when you started chanting. So thank you again for everything.
You see, wave is there. That's why how I gave the example. Wave is always in motion, isn't it? But what exactly is the wave? The water in motion is a wave, but it is not separate from the water. Can I have that perception of the entire world of the change? Consciousness, now I'm replacing the word. Consciousness appears in motion is the world. I'm free. That is choiceless awareness. You get it, thank you. You didn't get it, still it is thank you because you're learning. So how are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Wow, that was like a culmination of many weeks, months, and years. I felt brought into one, and kind of so lots of time listening to it, writing. I really, really enjoyed that lesson a lot. So thank you. My meditation was extremely deep, and kind of like Stephen, I was a little startled when you started to chant and came out of it. So thank you.
Yes, and you see that meditation has been very due. We skip a lot of steps. So normally the mind continues to rely, oh, if I do this step, it will happen. So we had a wonderful student seeker from the New York. He said, if I do the lot of breathing, then I feel refreshed. But how can I tell you that you are depending on your mind it has not to depend on anything outside. Why? Because that state is already outside, inside you. But then why you are doing all those stuff? Because we are asking the mind to live into that awareness to perceive the reality. How are you, Jerry? You see, the mind is so impulsive. It is moving like this so that I can see the Jerry. I can see that. You see, it is impulsive.
Very good, thank you. This lesson just kind of reiterated the power of viveka in our
Yeah.
lives. And so when that is practiced and used whenever there's whenever we're not guided by that choiceless awareness, then we can use the viveka to say, okay, what's real and what's not real,
Yeah.
real here. So what's false, what's real. And the more we do that, then the more we live into that choiceless awareness.
Definitely. I'm into anxiety. Ask yourself what is real and what is unreal. Oh, can you live in anxiety 24/7? No, no way. Oh, then it is unreal. Why you are hooked to this? So, because when our level of perception through the viveka goes up, it becomes a play and a fun. And that is why the regular practice is required. I'm trying to make you believe. The masters always said everything. So I have my own expression. How are you, Dennis? Thank you, Jerry. Yes.
Thank you for the lesson. Seamless practice, even without the active steps. There was
Good.
calmness, peace, and empty dark space at the end. What I noticed at the end is that there is still I and the and the empty space, meaning that there is a duality still. And intellectually, I understand that this should merge into the space and should be perceived as a whole. And since this duality still exists, I understand that there is a lot of things to be done and to be accomplished to get near to the complete absorption. Thank you.
Yes, Dennis, at least in 8 steps, you have understood this. We have to complete 40 steps. Beautifully said. Yeah, that duality still exists. And I gave you an example of eater, and the food. The mind always wants us to live in that trinity. If there is no trinity, there is no anxiety, there is no stress, there is no fight. You made me anxious. You see the trinity? You made me to react. You see the trinity? So that is why these steps are essential and important. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you. I've been this past couple of days, my reflection and contemplation is centered on not being in the role once we leave the role. So this wasn't this lesson, but the tie-in is that it's that issue of perception, because I really recognize that, like for the example that you give, after I'm done teaching and no students are in front of me, I'm still teaching, right? I'm still like playing out the situations in my mind, and it's not helpful. So kind of to Stephen's point, I think, maybe I can't control that. I can shift it. It's like the recognition, like, okay, well, you're not teaching right now, so why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And I've been able to find a lot of space just canceling out the stories that continue that aren't happening.
At last, you have this perception. You are a professor. Even, I become very, I won't say conscious, but I'm very mindful that should I say anything to anyone which may feel bad to them during the session? No. After the session at the personal level, I may point out that, oh, please change yourself. But again, in that moment, I'm not a teacher. No, it's a friendly advice. Another way to deal with these dropping of the role, every lesson you teach after teaching. So now, this lesson, this period is finished. Now I am your friend. You just speak out loudly. So that if you remain as a professor, the teacher or the student will point you, and so that it will act as a reminder. You just say that, done, finished. 1 hour session and it is done, finished. And the relaxation, the calmness that you feel after dropping the role, you cannot measure it. You cannot measure it. Same thing role as a father, as a mother. Yes, Samir, how are you?
Sir, meditation was very good, and I think it is your choice that your mind runs after peace or it runs after anxiety.
Yes.
You start understanding that what I will get after doing this, after thinking, after going, the life gives you all the experiences, result as well as this means what you are going to do and what you will get out of that. If you start understanding that, then slowly you just choose peace instead of anxiety. You start choosing peace. Yeah, because every time there is an option whether you can go towards wrong side or right side. So slowly you start choosing the right direction and going.
Yes, that is why. So what you said is a power of discernment. So I have chosen. So I have chosen the knowledge instead of ignorance. Then I continue to discern and I recognize the ignorance as such does not exist. That's why we give a metaphor. The darkness is an absence of light. The darkness does not have its own independent existence. That is why we say. That is why the entire journey of the Eastern wisdom is to move from the ignorance to the wisdom. So when you are in the state of the wisdom, you have a choiceless awareness. That is another way to put it. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. Meditation was very deep, and it started as soon as I closed my eyes today, and it just felt wonderful. Up until today, I wasn't really sure about the definition of auspiciousness, of what you meant by auspiciousness. But today you said that it means clearing yourself of past impressions, and that was very helpful to me.
Beautiful. That is why, Barbara, I have been saying listening and learning, constant contemplation and reflection. So when you are repeating it, and I also try to give a different expression to it. And that is a fine definition that getting rid of the past impressions. I don't have, when I wake up in the morning, I don't have any past impression. I see the sun, oh, it's a day, good morning. It is always a good morning. Who makes it bad morning? My past impression. Think. I'm saying think. I am not saying don't think, believe me. That is not Eastern wisdom. But we have many of my friends and comrades and colleagues, they say, you have to believe me. No, you have to believe in the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I sort of feel like sometimes it's a roller coaster where my mind once is just attached to the noise and needing to accept to let go for the new way, following Eastern wisdom. And it's resulting, in deeper experiences of calmness and peace during our meditations, and just a lot of back and forth
Yes, so now see that how your mind takes this roller coaster. So Master answers this. Darkness is there to discern, to see the light. Anxiety is there in my personality to be able to explore peace and joy in my life. So when I start the journey with this understanding, then there is no problem. Then my anxiety, my reaction, huh, my anger huh, has a very little, what you say, with a little impact. Even though I am into anxiety, but inside that knowledge is there. It is there to move into the peace and the joy. Where is the problem? Let me move into the peace and the joy. So what happens? That is what the master says. Anxiety, reaction, ignorance, and the ignorance covers that knowledge. How it covers, you are responsible for it. You made me anxiety. I'm not going to leave you. The young guy, really knows, he said, I gave 200% to this girl. Who told you to give 200%? You have been with me for a couple of years. You have not given me even 10%. So it clouds your mind. One day he told me there is not enough change. I said, who is responsible? You or me? Then now he is not saying anything. He says, no, I will not leave. How are you, Ashok? Ashok has been with me, we have been together, I think, how many, 30 years?
Around, sir.
Around 30 years. Very good. Very good. How are you, sir?
सर आई एम गुड एंड मुझे याद आ रहा है वो ट्रिनिटी ट्रिनिटी जो आप बोल रहे हो, भोजनम भोजे भोक्ता, इज लाइक, है ना?
Yes. Yes. Ashok, I teach everything from the teachings of the Eastern wisdom. So he is referring the text from where this eating and the food is referred.
Correct.
Aham bhojanam naiva bhojyam na bhokta chidananda rupa shivoham.
Shivoham.
So I have to recognize this Trinity everywhere. It is because of the Trinity are separated by the mind in ignorance with a force, with a greater power, causes the anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict, and suffering. You explore the Trinity and it is gone. How are you, Terry?
Sir, one thing more.
Yes, one thing more.
हाँ जी, एक सर ये पूछना था मुझे, राग विराग और वीतराग, देयर आर थ्री थिंग्स ना, आई मीन, तो राग और बैराग और वीतराग, so these are three different things.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. There is the dispassion are of three types. First is I'm attached to something, I become aware, I think a lot, and I'm trying to move towards detachment. That is the first stage. The second stage, then I see the attachment and detachment do not impact my mind. Third stage, attachment remains as an attachment outside, but mind is free. Detachment remains detachment out. Let it be detachment outside. So that is the highest level of a dispassion. I have yet to start that journey. Discernment and dispassion. Very good. How are you, Terry?
Good. I don't know if I literally understood everything. I know
you have to repeat listening.
That's what you said. Yes. But I just took it. I took it lightly today, and I didn't get all worried about it.
Yeah.
and overanalyzing. So I think that's good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. You see, I repeated snake and rope example to my mind maybe around millions of times. So now it is settled
Huh.
in the head. Now it is settled, and I say I have a pain. Then I said pain and the peace, pain and the peace. Comparing to the snake and the rope, and that process of discernment helps you.
Yeah.
And that is how it is helping me to even speak out
Oh, yeah.
with
Oh,
all those grafting. There is no issue at all. Yes, not too much of personal talk we have talked. So the Vaibhav is left.
after call.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir. So mind is calm, and what I've understood is like that I cannot be upset with myself. I need some object to be upset about. So there should be like whenever I'm upset, there is some object in the mind for which I'm upset or I like. So this is what I'm getting from today.
beautifully said. Beautifully said. Everyone should notice it. You know, you see now I told you the principles are the same, the knowledge part is the same, expression is different. I made a different expression and Barbara got it. Now, in one of the highest texts, which is known as the Gita, the very first chapter, I'm responding to Vaibhav what experiences shared. In the very first chapter, I have talked about it a couple of times, you may remember. Do you know that we are not worthy of suffering? You are in choiceless awareness, Dennis. I'm not worthy of suffering. uh, Mind in ignorance, mind with lot of impurities, mind with total misunderstanding. Oh, this guy seems to be crazy. He say that we are not worthy of suffering. How can he say that? So those people who have not gone to the 40 steps and they start studying that, after reading the first chapter, they leave it. This book is crazy. But you should admit that being in the state of choiceless awareness, suffering has to do nothing with me. That we fail to understand. Anyhow, how are you, Sangeeta?
सर प्रैक्टिस बहुत पीसफुल थी और सर अब ना यही लगता है कि पीस ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है बाकी सब चीजें वेस्ट
Yes, you're right. Now her expression, she says that the peace is more important than anything else. What will happen? Do you remember what will happen with the clear acronym? The 7th step, have an intense desire for self. That is how we need to understand. I'm serious, peace is more important than anything else in the world. Real self is of the nature of peace, so I have an intense desire. That is how the mind undergoes a transformation. That is all for today. Thank you very much. We'll meet again. It was a very healthy and a good discussion.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Namaste,
sir.
everyone.